by greeting our women CEOs a happy Women's Month. And thank you to our gentlemen CEOs for your constant support to us women as we fulfill our roles for our country's development and progress. Tourism plays a central role in our economic development. And as policymakers and stakeholders are looking at ways to adapt the tourism sector's product offerings, we are prioritizing domestic tourism to support our economic recovery. Enhanced health and safety measures have been implemented to align our hotels, tourism sites, and other services with the demands of the new normal. And our pivot towards digitalization and the use of technology to upskill the workforce is preparing the tourism sector for our present and future challenges. Let me give you a brief introduction to how we are structured in the sector. The DOT is the tourism industry's main regulator, and its overseas offices, 12 of them, likewise help market the Philippines. The TPB is responsible for designing promotions and marketing campaigns. And TIESA, the Tourism Infrastructure and Economic Zone Authority, helps to drive investments in designated areas through fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. Created in 2009, it develops, manages, and supervises tourism infra projects, as well as designing, regulating, and supervising TECs. We have a National Tourism Development Plan, which was crafted to cover 2016 until 2022, and it provides the framework guiding the tourism industry's development. It seeks to pursue sustainability and socially responsible tourism. And the plan identified 20 tourism clusters across the country, each including priority tourism development areas, designed with the aim of doubling tourism revenues and increasing the number of inbound visitors. Right now, we are updating the National Tourism Development Plan for it to be aligned with the updated Philippine Development Plan. What are our prospects for international tourism arrivals? The pandemic was a setback for our goal of having 9.2 million foreign visitors last year. In March 2020, when we closed our borders to leisure foreign arrivals, we have seen that the arrivals dropped 73%. In the first 7 months of 2020. And for almost 3/4 of the year last year, mobility restrictions on business operations and domestic travel also adversely affected the potential for domestic travelers to make up for international visitors. Our tourism revenue fell by 72% on a year-on-year basis, and that amounts to about 81 billion pesos. While the Philippines is expected to remain closed to most foreign travelers through mid-2021, the IATF, for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, has constituted a technical working group to review the ban on entry of foreign visitors and hopefully pave the way to allow them to now visit the country. Looking ahead, a 2020 July survey by the Pricewaterhouse of around 250 businesses in tourism-related segments found that 79% of the respondents were actually optimistic about recovery of tourism by mid this year, while 21% expected a longer time frame for our recovery. The forecast, however, shows that international arrivals would bounce back in the medium term from an estimated 3.9 million in 2020 to 6.2 million by 2024. I'm also pleased to share with you that in terms of our hotel infrastructure situation, we have noted that as visitor arrivals grew over the 2010 to 2019 period, our hotel infra expanded by an average of 2,000 hotel rooms per year, with around 2,800 rooms completed in 2018. Real estate consultancy Colliers initially expected 6,870 new hotel rooms to be constructed between 2020 to 2022, but these projections have been revised, and now hotel room construction has slowed down to 375 rooms in the first half of 2020. Nonetheless, Colliers still expects that some 1,725 rooms will enter the market by the end of this year. Our hotel occupancy rate had an average of 72% in 2019, but it fell to 50% in April and May last year amid travel restrictions. The average daily room rates in Metro Manila fell by 30.4% from 79 US dollars in the second half of 2019 to only about 55 US dollars by the end of 2020. But there's also future in our domestic tourism and the push for the MICE sector. A Department of Tourism survey released in June 2020 reported willingness to travel domestically among the respondents upon easing of restrictions, with preference for destinations which are closer to home, although Boracay, Siargao, and Baguio were also named as top preferred destinations. With regard to priority tourism activities, beach trips ranked the highest, selected by 69% of respondents as a likely reason for them to travel, followed by road trips at 54% and doing staycations at 41%. In early September 2020, the DOT announced a gradual resumption of domestic tourism, which started in October last year. Under this plan, domestic travel bubbles were created within specified regions to facilitate travel while adhering to health mandates. And it's good that the ADB report in September stated that our volume of local tourists could actually offset the Philippines' loss of foreign tourists. So this is one good lever that we need to push to eventually pave the way for economic recovery. The IITF continues to formulate travel protocols for domestic tourists and evolve this to respond to present and emerging situations while giving local government units some room or latitude for location-specific guidelines. This is important because we know that across the world and even here in the country, safety is the new luxury. And so to assist tourism enterprises in complying with evolving health and safety protocols, the Department of Tourism with the Board of Investments have provided for incentives to help our enterprises upgrade and modernize their facilities to ensure the health and safety of our travelers. Included in these incentives is a BOI-led 3-year income tax holiday with a list of eligible projects, including barriers and deionizers in transport, as well as the renovation of hotel rooms and installation of partitions, automatic doors and elevators, thermal scanners, and having ventilations adequate in our hotels. Since May 2020, the DOT has issued health-related guidelines for various industries within the tourism sector, including accommodation facilities, restaurants, MICE, beaches and island operations, transport services, amusements and attractions, among others. These efforts have been recognized by no less than the World Travel and Tourism Council, which in September last year gave the DOT authority to use the Safe Travels stamp and award its use in return to other establishments or enterprises that are found compliant with safety and health protocols. The government also was quick in providing response to COVID-19, with President Duterte signing 2 national stimulus packages with the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act and the Bayanihan to Recover as One Act. These 2 laws provided funding support for various COVID-19 response and recovery initiatives, and combined, it amounted to about $8.8 billion to aid various recovery programs. Specific to our sector in tourism, we have allocated 10 billion from the Bayanihan funds for the support of tourism, small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises, while 6 billion was designated for a loan program through the SB Corporation. This is a no collateral, interest-free loans payable in 3 years with 1 grace period for those availing of the loans. There is also 3 billion allocated to assist our displaced tourism workers across the various industries within the tourism, and 1 billion pesos for road infrastructure improvements. Of course, 100 million pesos was specifically allocated to support displaced tour guides. In September 2020, the DOT shifted its accreditation process to an online system. This is part and parcel of our strategic pivot to adopt technology and leverage on digital technologies in support of smart tourism. So the online accreditation process serve as a portal to handle accreditation requests, contactless transactions, and government services, featuring real-time application status and online payments. Technology was also used to sustain the push for our My segment. In late September, that PPB conducted FITEX, which was on a hybrid mode with 124 foreign clients in virtual attendance and some of the 161 local tourism providers joining the event physically in Bohol. Our foreign buyers from Africa, Europe, and South America, as well as players from the region, signed into the online platform, generating 4.5 million or about 89,500 US dollars worth of future bookings. While 2020 proved to be a challenging year for tourism and our push to encourage our push for domestic travel and staycations provided also partial economic benefits and the impetus for us to actually pave the way towards recovery. Meanwhile, efforts continue to improve infrastructure and adjust to the new normal as we ready hotels, tour operators, and other service providers for the eventual return of international guests, also expected this year. As we roll out the Safe Bangon Turismo this year, and as I have said, safety is the new luxury. I invite you to watch, by way of closing this sharing with you, the readiness or the handa AVP prepared by the Department of Tourism and the Tourism Promotions Board. Thank you very much, and I wish you a prosperous year ahead.